Yo, so this is the absolutely insane Halloween birthday manga haul. So get ready, because I got some crazy, I got a lot of insane stuff. Basically, I just got a ton of stuff over the course of a month. I had one little pile I don't think I covered that I had gotten. It might be from the end of last month. Whatever, we'll start with that. Month. I think I just said month. Okay, so we'll start right here. So, like I said, I haven't been drawing. Got to figure out the work situation and all that stuff. But I've been reading and studying and reading interviews and like I usually do. So we'll start with this pile, which was really cool. Monster Hunter Oracle. Urachi? Yeah. Uragi? I don't know. I just read it totally wrong. Anyway, this is Hiro Mashima, who did Fairy Tail. I feel like I covered this pile, kind of. I'm not sure. Whatever. Okay. I didn't go through it yet. It's really cool. But I wanted to talk about Hiro Mashima because he has a YouTube channel that you should check out. Definitely. Just search up Hiro Mashima YouTube channel or whatever, and you'll find it. And he gives a bunch of tutorials on how he makes manga, which is awesome because it's hard to find a lot of stuff like that. And you can understand it by hitting closed captions and auto translate to English, and then you can see what he's saying. Animal Land. This is a cool one. Neat one. Pumpkin Scissors. That's good for today. It is Halloween today, by the way. Happy Halloween. I found this whole series at the end of the month. This is called Tenjo Tengi. I don't know how to pronounce it. But I can't believe... Just look at that cover. How cool is that cover? Seriously. I kept seeing this, the Japanese version in stores, but not the English. So finding the English was awesome because the illustrations look so cool. Seikai Trilogy Banner of the Stars. I don't know what that is. Last Hope looked cool. Last Hope. Project Arms. I felt like I had heard of a bunch and never read anything about it, so checking that out. Mystical Prince Yoshida-kun. I don't even know what that means. If anything's $3, I've never seen it, and I do a quick little flip when I'm buying manga, and if it looks cool, then I'll get it. If it looks like it's from the 90s, I'll grab it. So yeah, and then I found the Full Metal Panic, which is obviously very interesting. Very cool. So we will move this over here. Let's see. And we'll move on to what I've been reading recently. So I just got these in the mail today, all of them, but I finished the first one the other day, The Drifting Classroom. Not a rare one. You've probably seen this in Barnes & Noble and stuff. Really weird. It just keeps getting crazier and crazier. So I'm going to read that today. It's a good thing to read on Halloween. This kid goes to school and his school disappears, and it's kind of like Lord of the Flies, and the kids start setting up different factions, and the adults go crazy and they're all fighting each other. It's insane. There's a lot going on in that. Yeah, we got Drifting Classroom 1, 2, and 3. We'll get the horror stuff out of the way right now. So I didn't get all this Junji Ito pile. I just have this stacked up. I figured I'd leave it for Halloween. But this just came out, which you should read, especially if you're interested in making manga. You definitely want to check this out. It's a Junji Ito Uncanny: The Origins of Fear, and this is an autobiography. Now, I try to stay on top of what's coming out and everything, and so much stuff just slips by. I just saw there's a Vagabond Deluxe Edition, so a giant edition of that, which I'm super excited for. I never really read Vagabond. What else? There's something else really cool coming out that I'm blanking on. Oh, Gunsmith Cats is coming out. It's another neat one. Whatever. Anyway, yeah, Junji Ito is a dental assistant making manga. And that's why I'm reading the Drifting Classroom, because he talks about Kazuo Umez all the time. And I don't know if you're familiar with, was it Japan Book Hunter? He, on YouTube, he like has all the horror manga stuff, and I know you can get that at his store. He always has rare stuff. And I actually hit him up about, because he lives in Japan, so people like give him books, and he goes hunting through the stores, and he'll get you stuff, which is so cool, especially if it's not online or if it's like super expensive online. So he got me a Kaneko Man encyclopedia, which is pretty wild. I'm not gonna get it down, but you can look that up. Kaneko Man Chojin Encyclopedia. It has like some of the coolest illustrations than ever. Whatever. Junji Ito's awesome. I read I didn't read a bunch of his stuff, but obviously I read like what's it called? Uzumaki was sick. Tomy, I just got I read Suichi. I actually did a review of Suichi. Suichi is weird. It's hilarious and I thought scary. And in his book, he's like, yeah, it's a comedy. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, that's a comedy? It's kind of creepy. But Gyo I read the other day, which is really funny and weird. It's like not funny, but it's gross. Like fish get legs, so like sharks get legs. And then the autobiography talks about how Jaws is like the perfect example of a horror manga. And the reason I haven't read this horror, like I'm not really into horror stuff at all. Well, I like scary stuff. I don't like violent stuff. It's just gross. It's weird. So I'm a firm believer like when I read a story, I feel like the stakes of the story are so important, and what's the most important thing is like the enemy, like the bad guy, the villain is like, I don't know, I always think of like Ivan Ooze or I don't know, Frieza from Dragon Ball Z, just to like give you brief examples. There's so much stuff, like a Doctor Doom. I feel like the most important thing in the story is like the threat, and you know, those characters are like really interesting. So I think it's smart to like get into hard stuff for that reason, you know. But yeah, I'm gonna move this. We're gonna keep on going. I'm gonna do this. We'll do this file. So I didn't get all this either, but I had this stacked up because I was reading it. The Sama Tezuka. Astro Boy love since I was a kid. And I did buy this Bomba, which is a weird one. This kid like calls on a horse to kill people to like get revenge on them. It was like super strange. And what do I have here? I have Apollo Song, Blackjack. It's like not a rare one, but you don't really see that in stores. Crater, the Crater. I was reading Dororo, I think it's what it's called. Dororo is neat. It's about like this ghost that his father like turns him into a human. It's really weird. It's like this kid with no limbs is born. He's like a cursed kid, and the father builds him like limbs, and then he becomes like a samurai almost. I don't know. It's actually awesome. That's the thing. Like a lot of people are kind of duped by Tezuka's like Disney-esque simple artwork, but his stories are so like deep, and you know, the art actually like makes it work. Like there's a reason why they call him like the king of manga. 100%. He's awesome. I've always loved this stuff. Now here it's upside down, but the Osamu Tezuka story, which is a biography in comic form of his life, and it's so sick. It's great. I didn't finish it. I read probably about half of it, I believe, but yeah. So let's get on to more of the new stuff I got. Gonna be a longer video for sure. Okay, Ken Ishikawa. So Go Nagai I talked about before. Yeah, he does Devilman, Cutie Honey, Violence Jack. This was his assistant, and then like Go Nagai says he quickly surpassed him, but I don't know if you can see this art. I don't know if that's too close or what, but if you can see those type of like mech robots, he does like Getter Robo Go and Getter Robo G. His art style is just amazing. It's so cool. And so him and Go Nagai have the Studio Dynamic Pro, and when that is established, you see Go Nagai's work like jump to like new heights. It's just crazy. It's hard to really know like the history because I don't read Japanese, so I like loosely know it. But you should definitely look up Ken Ishikawa. So I want to talk about a website. There is a website Well, I'm sure you probably know it. It's called Manga Dex. Manga Dex, Dex, like a Pokedex from Pokemon, where you like collect the Pokemon, and then the Pokedex says like what keeps track of how many Pokemon you've seen. We can do that with manga. Now, not every series is on there, but it's great for like keeping a record of what you've read and what you want to read. And there's a ton of series on there, but yeah, I've been reading tons of stuff on there. Oh, there's a manga I've been reading. I wanted to say it. There's a ton. I don't really finish stuff anymore. I just kind of like get a taste of every series, just because it's like so time consuming. Zetman, Zetman, which I think they have like fake copies of that someone printed in another country. I might get that because that has been the greatest thing I've read in years. Probably, it might be the best I've ever read. It's Zetman. Definitely look it up on Manga Dex and check it out because it is crazy. It's such an awesome series. It's so good. Back to this. Battle Royale. Really cool looking manga. Got this straight from Japan. It's just an issue of Shonen Jump. I believe it's the end of Jujutsu Kaisen in here. It looked pretty uneventful, and I heard people say that like it was uneventful, the end, so I'm not sure. Another series I've yet to check out, which I will. This is amazing. Naoki Urasawa interview book. So someone told me it's from 12 hours of interviews about all his different series. So, you know, Monster, 20th Century Boys, Yawara, Billy Bat. Dude, legend. Absolute legend. If you haven't read Naoki Urasawa, definitely do that. Everyone says Monster. Monster's great, but I believe like Monster's like micro, and then you get like situation wise, and then you get 20th Century Boys where he goes like macro. Like it is a massive, so insane story with like time skips. That's my favorite manga. You know, top 3, easy. It's bananas. It's so great. Definitely, you should pick that up. So how I read that is like I get my phone, I can do Google Translate, and you can kind of just hold it like this, because they read right to left. The Japanese read right to left. So I just have to hold the book this way and then put the translator on it, and I can read it just like English, like left to right, which is pretty cool. It's a pain to like hold it and stuff, but yeah. Let's see. I actually did a short tutorial on how to translate online. Like there's a really good plugin. It costs money, but it's totally worth it. Trigun Maximum Deluxe Edition. I read the first Trigun, like the initial 3 volumes. I think it's 3 volumes, right? I think so. Whatever. And then this is Trigun Maximum. So this is, I guess it's like a reboot, or I think they just wanted to continue the story and just, I don't know, throw on a new name. I think Maximum sounds cool. Anyway, I didn't read it yet. This is so awesome. So, Go Nagai's another interview. I gotta watch what I throw on the camera here. Jeez. So this goes through all his series. It's like it's an autobiography of. It's a shortened autobiography. So I actually got. Well, I'll show you them at the end, all the way at the end of the table. Those are all Go Nagai's autobiographies, where he remade his series while simultaneously telling you how he came up with them. And then I believe they extracted the remakes into their own books as well, which it's super confusing if you don't speak Japanese. So finding all this out has been a journey, but it's also really cool. So this is Violence Jack. Violence Jack. So always remember, like, anime and source manga, I wouldn't say they're different, but like the anime of Violence Jack is known that it's just like extremely gross. Same with like Devilman. Now the mangas are messed up too, but like the manga of Violence Jack, I was pretty obsessed with. I didn't get too far into it. It's like a very long series. I've been reading a lot of it, and it's amazing. It's a great story. And I just kind of thought, like I hear about the anime, oh, it's one of the grossest animes. So I'm like, I don't really care about that. It's kind of, like I said, grosses me out. But then when I read it, I was like, yo. Like, I was pretty blown away. Amazing stuff, you know. I mean, they just came up with the coolest creatures and bad guys and everything. Go Nagai is a absolute legend. But he goes through the creations of Mazinger, which is like the mech anime manga, and yeah, whatever. Cool. This is, you know who this is. I don't know how to pronounce his name correctly. It's Hirohiko. Yeah. Hirohiko Araki's World, which is about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Yeah. JoJo's amazing. I love it. I always forget how great it is. You know, I'm not too crazy about the beginning. I read I think I read up to Diamond is Unbreakable. Because they say you can kind of jump around, but you should definitely read it the whole way through. I didn't. I'd love to. I want to really bad. I'm dying to read Steel Ball Run. I think did they announce an anime? I think they did, which people for years were like, oh, they can't animate it. I'm like, okay. Sure enough, they're animating it. I think. All right, I'll make it so. I know Steel Ball Run, the manga, is getting released in English finally, which is exciting. I might just read that and then like skip around. It's just such a massive series. Like, I just don't have time to do that, you know? Okay. Let's keep on going. I'm like blocking myself here. Okay. So I found a bunch of these. I pulled up one earlier. Tenjiho Tengi. Really cool manga. I don't even know what it's about. Just the illustrations are sick. Oh. I had this. I pulled this out to say that to look up Hiro Mashima's YouTube channel, but I already told you that. So these are all his one shots and stuff. Oh, they announced Wanted, which was Ichiro Oda of One Piece. He's putting out his original manga, which is super exciting. Yeah, that's really cool. Ice Blade, that's a rare one. This was rare. I freaked out when I saw this. One of these covers is really weird, so I'm not going to show that. Okay. Tenchi. No need for Tenchi. Tenchi's awesome. Like, it's so weird. It's just everything that you like about, like, manga and anime thrown into one. So, like, every trope thrown at the wall. And I think it works, you know? It's hilarious. It's fun. I watched a movie. I think it's called Tenchi Muyo in Love. I think that's the first one. And, I saw that movie when I was a kid, and I was floored by it. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I couldn't figure out what it was. Literally my whole life, because this was before, like, TV Guides. It's on, like, HBO or something. And I was blown away. It's like, this is the coolest movie I've ever seen. I thought it was X by Clamp for years, but I'd searched through, like, the scenes of that, and I was like, I don't think this is what, I remember. It wasn't. It was the Tenchi Muyo movie. I watched it the other day. It was alright. It wasn't, you know, after almost 30 years, things, might not be as interesting. It was still cool. Like, it was awesome. I have a Tenchi action figure I got when I was a kid that I think I bought it out of the package, but I remembered it from the movie. So I had no idea it was like Tenchi. Whatever. Moving on. Tank Chair. This looks neat. I didn't read this yet. It's going to take me a while to read all this stuff. Oh, I didn't just get this, but I went to see the original Gundam movie. So it's like the original series, Gundam series, and I think it's the first season, they cut up into a movie, something like that. I'm not entirely sure. But it's like a compilation of like episodes that turned into a movie. It was so great. I loved it. And I don't know. I think it was in like the 70s, early 80s. So great. Awesome stuff. Like emotional, you know. I feel like a lot of stuff nowadays is just like totally missing its soul. I don't know what it is, but there's just something missing from like modern media. So, I don't know. Okay, so I did a review on a Batman manga before, Kia Asamiya. He did Batman Child of Dreams. I think I see it up there. I can't really read it. I think that's what it's called. That's incredible. So, I've been like obsessed with that dude. Watching all his interviews and stuff. Junk, Record of the Last Hero. Very cool. So I found out about a lot of this stuff through different manga like guides or interview books, so interviews with different mangaka, and I'm trying to find like a cool image of this junk guy so you can see how cool the art is. There might not be much in this book. Yeah, it's pretty plain. I think this is before he gets his costume. Whatever. My next video is gonna be that. It's gonna be like my how to draw manga books and my manga interview books, which I only have a couple. I only know about a few. We continue on. Golgo 13. So there's a few here I might have put up already. I don't think so though. Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is awesome. I just put out an album, Yu-Gi-Oh! You should definitely go listen to it. My last 3 albums have had like I had Blue Eyes White Dragon was one song, so I made that the album title. Then another one was Exodia, so I made that the album title. That's a hilarious story about me going. Some kid like stole my Yu-Gi-Oh! Card down the street, and I like took my dad with me to get it back. And like I remember the kid and his dad like came outside. I was like, he took my card, and my dad just like looked at his dad. He's like, like I didn't care, and he gave me the card. It was a Red Eyes Black Dragon. I remember you, Alex. I never forgot. Yeah. So now we got, and the new one's called Yu-Gi-Oh! And so it's like it's a trilogy of albums, and it's like a real rock album. I've been moving more towards like rock, like straight up AC/DC rock. It's not at all, but I was listening to like Van Halen and stuff, and you know, it's hard to make that stuff. But Hunter x Hunter character book, very cool. You know, Yashihiro Togashi's definitely my favorite mangaka because of Yu Yu Hakusho. Yu Yu Hakusho is definitely probably my number. I don't know if it's my number one manga, but it's definitely my number one anime for sure. It's probably number one manga too. This was a cool one. So if I see any art I remotely like, I'll definitely pick up the book. So this is Phantom S, is that? No, it's just Phantom. And it's just like mechs and stuff. And, you know, I'm a sucker for anything with robots. You know, whatever. I had gotten a second volume of this. So this is Louis the Rune Soldier, Volume 1, which is neat. So, I think they re-released High School of the Dead. There's like a full color. I found the first volume, a small one, so this was $6 as opposed to $60 for the full color large one. Which, if I like this, I'll probably get it because I'm just a sucker for like large manga. You know, I just love it that you can see the art better and everything. Real About High School looked pretty cool. Old Boy, my best friend tells me this is one of the coolest movies, so it was neat to see this. I believe this is like the original source. I'm not sure though. Volume 1. Okay. Kagurabachi. I've been hearing a lot about this. I only read like the first chapter. I believe the mangaka just started drawing in 2020, which is pretty awesome. And that's like exactly what happened to me, is where I got like heavily into manga. Now I'm nowhere near this guy's level, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Gurren Lagann, very cool. You know, I believe that's another mech-ish anime, right? I think so. I've been hearing about it forever. Like, if there's something I hear about and, like, I never see, I'll definitely pick it up. Yeah, I already did that. Tengi. Okay. My favorite video game of all time. Mega Man 8 and Mega Man Legends 1 and 2. So, I had no idea that there was Mega Man manga for like each game, almost each game, you know. But so there's a Mega Man 8 series. So I didn't read it. It's actually translated online. I just flipped through it and just like looked at it. Such incredible art. Like I absolutely love the Mega Man art. I love the character designs. I love the bad guy robot designs. They're just so incredible. The music to this thing is my favorite. The OST. I couldn't believe these existed. If I found these, like I used to sit on eBay and search for this stuff as a kid, but I guess I don't know if you just couldn't get like Japanese stuff like that off of eBay. I don't know. I was also like 9, so that doesn't count. Absolutely floored by these. And all this. What I'm about to show you next. Rock. So, you know, in Japan, Mega Man's called Rockman. So, right here we got Rockman 1, 2, 4. So, once again, incredible art. I actually had found, I did a review of the one small volume, I believe, or I featured it in like a manga haul video. Did not know all these existed. I thought there was only 2 volumes, but no, there's a whole series. So I am beyond excited to look through these, and then one day probably read them. But like I said, when you're on a time crunch, you know, I feel like you can take a lot in just by looking at it. Very cool stuff though. Pretty cool covers. I'm not tired, by the way. Rockman. Cool. Alright, let's move on. Oh, this is definitely a long video. So I did that. I did all these. Let me grab this stack. So I should start doing my American comic stuff in with this too, because I don't get as much of that. I have so much, but like new stuff that I get, I should put them into these manga hauls, even though it's not manga. You know, I'm just trying to make comics, but I prefer manga, 100%. Trying to make manga, like real manga. People are like, well, it can only be manga influenced, and I'm like, I don't believe in that at all for 5 seconds. It just makes no sense. It's, you know, I think manga is different. Like, it's a different craft. It moves faster. It moves like a movie. It's black and white. Not that means anything, but, you know, the whole manga, Western comics versus manga. Manga's in its own league. Comics are amazing, but they don't move as fast as manga, and the stories are not, like, it's like, you can't really make a general statement like that. I'd say ratio wise, manga stories are, you know, just stronger. And it's weird.